Evening, everyone. Welcome along to a rugby weekend that starts here in the East Midlands under the garden lights, turned up as bright as they'll go to make sure we get to enjoy all of this in its glorious Technicolor. Autumn creeping in, the Gallagher Premiership heating up. Let's have one last look at Phil Dowson's selection with a change on the wing and a change in the back row after last Saturday evening's win here against Exeter. Last season's top scorer, Ollie Slightholme, back as a starter. And at number 8, Sam Graham coming in for the injured Joano Augustus. Graham charged with offering the kind of thrust and ball carrying that the big names who moved on took with them at the end of last season. And Augustus has provided so far this season. Prop Trevor Davison, one of 8 Saints included in the England training squad that will meet up next week. Well, all told, Harlequins make half a dozen changes to the team that set off against Newcastle. Billy Millard wrestling with a bunch of early season injuries. They were already without Tyrone Green, Caden Murley, Joe Marler, Alex Dombrandt, and now Leave Halfpenny, Luke Northmore and Cassius Cleves have been added to the list this week. So Marcus Smith getting the chance to start at fullback for the first time in the Premiership. Jared Evans brought in alongside Danny Kerr. Will Joseph and Lennox Anyanwu pair up for the first time at this level. Oscar Beard comes onto the wing, while Jack Walker and Ernie Herbst are new starters in the pack. Talking of which, Sam, who do you have your eye on?
Oh, I always try to look past the back rows, Nick, but I'm finding it hard to. I do think it's early days in the season, but Will Evans and Pearson have both been brilliant at number 7. Cunningham South, only one game back, but has been his abrasive best. And I think Kenningham has also been superb for Quins this season. Kemeny has filled that abrasive hole that Ledlam left last season very well. So back row is going to be a big challenge for both of them tonight.
Yeah, an open game will really suit that Quins back row. You've got to look at the half-backs and think, well, Saints can't kick as much as they have been in recent games if they want to take on this game, because both of these sides are attacking geniuses at the back. Smith versus Furbank. These two guys are two of the most talented guys you will see on a rugby field. You cannot put the ball in front of them and give them time, because they will crucify you.
Harlequins, the champions in 2021, about to test their mettle against the champions in 2024. Saints been very good here recently, as you'd expect of the champions. They've won 23 of their last 25 in the Premiership at the Garden, so that's the challenge for Ernie Herbst and his troops today. Ernie leading Harlequins out his 50th game, 31-year-old South African. In the Premiership's greatest ever beard, bringing the players out onto the pitch and not far behind the skipper, Steven Levis. Skippering again in the absence of Alex Dombrandt, who's here tonight. He watched the warm-up, but he's not quite ready to engage himself in this season. Won one, lost one so far, Quins. Narrow defeat away to Sale on the opening weekend, and then a bit too much for a hard-working Newcastle last Saturday. A couple of 6-day turnarounds in a row as well, testing their seams, their organisation, how they organise their training week, particularly with significant injuries. A bit less training this week, turn up a bit fresher. A heavy workload recently. Finn Baxter amongst those players who've been included in England's squad. And a newfangled light show tonight. Stadium linking up with everyone's mobile phones. It's kind of Coldplay meets rugby. And here come Northampton's rock stars. They've won 10 in a row here now. Not lost at the Gardens for almost a year, since Bristol downed them. And as we've been saying, this a fixture won by the home team on both occasions last season, both of them close. Rarely been more than 10 points between them recently. Nearly always lots of fun, nearly always close. So many rockets wherever you look. So many clever rugby players. What a start to the season George Furbank has had. He's carried the captaincy very lightly. Matthew Carley in charge. First game of his Gallagher Premiership season. He's had a busy summer. one that took in South Africa and New Zealand in Cape Town not so long ago. And a fixture that in recent times has come with a 5-star billing, Northampton and Harlequins, and all the promise of tries and points. I doubt this will be 0-0 at half-time. Quins in the white, Saints in colours you'll recognise, and a little tap back initially from Curtis Langdon, meaning that it's Saints who will get to cast a few early spells. And it was the work of Jack Cunningham coming in with plenty of muscle, Sam, disrupting things and winning the earliest of penalties.
Yeah, he's won. Him and Will Smith have already got 9 together in the opening 2 rounds. He's been excellent, but that's such good work just to counter-ruck, and that's obviously something early on. Just want to unsettle the Saints on all their exit plays. Really good work from the blindside flanker, starting off where he's left off in the past 2 rounds. Been excellent at breakdown.
Perfect start for Quins, isn't it? They get over the top. Go to the line. Little hand scoop in there. It's the Saints' feet actually that move it out.
To the line, please, Tom.
See, it's great that he's in for the jackal, doesn't give up, gets back on his feet and causes the counter-ruck as well. Makes 2 efforts by the same player. Really good work post tackle.
Jack Walker picks out Levis. Walker hinging back round and hoping that the forwards might carry him over. Needs some help from the backs, but this looks very promising. How to stop Quins' rolling maul. Saints didn't find an early answer, and a try after 80 seconds for the Londoners.
Dream start for the Quins. Looks like it's Lamasatelli who gets the pats on the head. It's a great driving maul setter. They've had some success from the maul so far this season. You see those 3 players bang, they hit that pretty good. As soon as that player comes down from there, the 3 of them hit that ball. They try and get it going forward. Saints got quite a few backs, forwards off that. Pearson joins a bit late. Langdon's off on the left-hand side. It's almost like an 8v6. So they get the sort of numbers up. They join much quicker than Saints. I don't think Saints expect them to be that powerful, but what a brilliant start from Quins.
The pats on the back for Lamasatelli about how he straightened that thing up as Saints started to shave it across the try line.
Yeah, it was Walker. Apologies with the try. It's really good if you can have a prop. I find if you want to try and manufacture more, so your props at the front, they can take a lot of that weight, steer it forwards. Very strong at the front.
Marcus Smith, the fullback, the kicker.
Yeah, it's a fab start for Quins, isn't it? But just looking back to that ball and looking at Trevor Davison, he's so powerful. There he is, but he's moving forward just on 1 player, 1 defender. So he's not really stopping it, but because he's so strong, he actually adds momentum to their own drive. And that's what gets them around the corner and spins all those other Saints guys away from stopping the drive. So sometimes you think you're doing the best you can, but if you're that strong, you often help.
We both came in the same space where the ball was going to land. He's allowed to go there as well.
Stefan Levis there. So there's Will Joseph, first game of his season. Just his 4th of 2024 after Luke Northmore hobbled off after 20 minutes against Newcastle. Missing, of course, this season, Andre Esterhazy. So we'll see how Joseph and Yanwu, Lennox and Yanwu, link up tonight. It's interesting, both teams have lost some big, heavy transporters this season.
They've still got Freeman on the wing, though. Look at him trying to jockey into position here for an early ball off the scrum.
Enough, 1 metre.
Tom James, scrum half again tonight with Alex Mitchell making his way back from a sore neck. Beyond Chunyamunga to Finn Smith and a pirouetting Rory Hutchinson. Kick from James, looking for touch. Marcus Smith, looking for a little bit of space, and how well he did that. Where's he going? He's going to end up in Leicestershire at this rate. Finally gets stopped 3-4 metres from his own try line. It's his first ever Premiership start at fullback, and he rather got castled there.
Positionally, he did really well. His backfield position was good. He covered the kick extremely well, but probably just ran away from support. was trying to run infield, but I think he was almost running away from his supporting players, which means Quins can get in and over the ball.
You're going to want to play
Saints, sorry.
The same as them. If the whistle goes, your players leave the ball, else there'll be another sanction. Hang on, hang on.
Saints tap and go. Everyone shifts away to the left-hand side. One of the biggest, Mania Yogan, driving for the target. Matthew Carley wonders.
Has he gone twice there? Right in front of the referee. Good finish because he lands well short.
Initially I had the ball short, and then the ball is over the line. I'm going to ask Kitty how it got there, whether it's momentum or whether the player has propelled himself forward. Anything else?
So George Selwood, the assistant,
I do have the ball on the line,
and now Rowan
so
Kitt.
on-field decision is a try, but initially it was short, and I didn't see how it got over the line.
Okay, on-field decision, try.
It's a nice little move to begin with. He's definitely short there, isn't he? Does he push with either of his feet to propel himself? Can't really tell from there, can we?
Set up by Sam Graham. Ball short there. Is that a legal move, Sam? What do you think?
Close.
That's tight, isn't it? That is tight.
Yeah. I think he's okay because it's in one movement. I don't think he pushes with his feet. I don't think he propels himself from behind. Just his arm he can reach.
So the player was short. He's allowed to place the ball once in any direction.
Agree.
I'm not seeing this as a clear propel, only a reach out to try and score.
Agree with that.
So I'm going to stick with my on-field decision.
Nothing from these yet.
Well, we said it'd be busy. We've played 4 minutes and 53 seconds and we have 2 tries already.
I like that though, Nick. It's nothing too clever. It's just physics. Yogan and Davison just take contact together. You've probably got 260 kilo going at the Quins defensive line. Just one shift, maybe where the defence aren't expecting it, they're expecting the pick and go directly into the sticks. Just get 2 big men together. You can see there Davison on his outside, Yogan gets the ball, bang, they jump in that, contact together, drives him through. That's a lot of weight going through there. It's going to take a big player to stop that, and they couldn't do it. Only Herbs was there, still couldn't stop him.
Got to get the timing right, Sam, haven't they? They can't pre-bind too early, and Davison got that timing bang on.
Yeah, just in the nick of time. That's one thing that Refson, we were looking out for then. He engages on his own player just as he takes contact, so it's good timing, just as we can see it just now as well.
That's right.
A couple of Smiths with a couple of conversions as well. First Marcus, Natalie Finn, 7 points apiece. We've not played 7 minutes.
5 seconds.
We've got to get on with it. Matthew Carley was counting down in his head.
Just looking at the try, Nick, and people are thinking, well, why did he tap it and move? Well, if he taps it now, the head-on-head tackle's there, matched up, but because he moves to the side and the passes to him, look what it does to the defence. It puts 5 guys who would have been in the contact zone inside the ball. Now, I know he scores from this phase, but if he doesn't, you get a fast ball, it's really hard to then defend the far side. So that's why we're seeing more and more sides do it. Trying to make big defenders stay inside the ball and away from the tackle. Saints did it really well in that example. They probably didn't expect to score there, Sam. They're probably thinking the next phase is where they'll get the real benefit.
Yeah, you're right. They had numbers, didn't they, on the second phase. Smart play, really like that.
So one of Quinn's backs, and Yanwu looking hopefully Joseph as well, and almost inevitably. He's had a good couple of minutes, Manny Yogan.
Well, you're not painting a good picture for the ref. Ramazatelli was flat on his stomach. He's had some troubles this season, particularly in the first half of scrum time, but you're not painting a good picture there at all. If you fall on your stomach, it often indicates to the referee straight away your feet were too far back. You can see him on the right-hand side. As soon as he's on engagement, he's flat down. His feet look way too far back. Get your feet underneath you a bit. He was pinged for that a few weekends ago. Referees would have done their homework.
He's got no flexibility, Sam. No way of springing into or out of whatever's put at him. Quins with the ball back though.
He's miles offside.
Through from Jared Evans, and it's chased hard by Joseph, who gathers and rolls over.
What a tackle that is, by the way. He was offside in the first place. This tackle from Freeman is world class if he stopped him. It won't matter. If they look back, he was offside.
Put it down, put the ball down.
Let's have a look. Was he in front of the kicker by a couple of strides?
Yeah, but we can't check it because we haven't got a reason to, because we haven't scored.
How good's this tackle? Gets his arm on the ball, weight underneath. Oh, well done, that man.
Saints' third try against Exeter off Furbank's bang-on-the-money kick a week ago. But there's plenty to Tommy Freeman. Brinslow can still rebuild just outside the 22 with Walker. Score of the opening try after 80 seconds. Evans. Here goes Finn Baxter.
Tackle!
Part of Steve Borthwick's Autumn Nations warm-up squad named this afternoon. Evans, the former Wales international.
Clear release.
Just a lot of penalties at the breakdown at the moment.
Will Evans before was a fantastic counter up through the middle. Just wondering there whether Graham was a little bit high and Jared Evans in that tackle has stayed down a little bit.
I need to see the hands come clearly off the body, like half an inch isn't enough. It's got to be clear for me to see.
It was explained by Matthew Carley there, but let's have another look.
On the assistant, thank you.
Yeah, he pulls out well there because he follows through with that. He's in trouble. He's done well, Graham, there defensively. He's unlucky not to get the turnover as well. There's a little bit of a roll on the floor.
Once more in a handy position. Scored from a driven line out not so long ago. Here's one from 10 metres. Very quickly the forwards into their organisational driving shape. Jack Kenningham at the forefront. Alex Coles bending his back into the job defensively. Saints have held it up.
Munga does well. It's Munga, I think, or is it a Yogan? I think it might have been a Yogan. Did really well to break through that seam. Looked like Quins were going forwards. Where is he at the minute? Oh, it is Munga, head guard number 4. I wonder if that's at the side a little bit, unless Lamasatelli, if he was the lifter and he's got between Lamasatelli, then he's done very well. Need another look at that.
Well, last season started with him losing his job, you will remember. It ended with him as a Premiership winner. He is still happily on the London Irish former player WhatsApp group, who keep in touch socially.
That's just the important nick there of, so say when Quinn scored, we saw Lamasatelli, the lifter, the other lifter staying rock solid as that 3 at the front of that maul. If that 3 gets dispersed and somebody can get through that seam, it's almost inevitable that it's going to result in a turnover. It just shows the importance. It's got to be rock solid, but without stepping in front and seeing those obstruction penalties that we're often seeing. It's a big role at the front of that maul.
You talk to lifters about their job, particularly the back lifters, Sam, and they talk about turning 90 degrees and being absolutely square to the try line and allowing no light, no water, no noise between them and the bloke who's caught the ball.
Yeah, that's the hard thing you've got to do. If you're a lifter, as soon as your player comes down to the ground, you've got to make sure there's no light between you and the lifter, because the opposition are desperately Maratoji's very famous for trying to get his arms through and break that seam. That's your #1 priority as a lifter. Never let anyone get through that front 3. If you can do that, then it's a good platform to try and build behind you.
Well, it looks like Alex Coles has damaged his ribs. England don't need any more injuries ahead of the Autumn Nations series. They've had a bagful already over the opening fortnight of this Gallagher Premiership season, and there's a man who is in a lot of pain. They brought in Will Spencer and Gavin Thornbury, former Bath and Connacht second rows, on short-term contrast, to add a bit of ballast to the second row, but they've lost another big one there, and Timo Mayana Vanua, a Gardens return for him, back after helping Fiji win the Pacific Nations Cup, but back sooner than he might have expected.
Yeah, that's right, we'll see what happens. Yeah, play on.
James, once again at scrum half tonight. Here's Freeman, that was high from Herbst. He withdrew his arm very quickly, but it will be a penalty.
Agree, yeah.
Smith, knowing it's a penalty, can have a little bit of a gamble. Levis got there first, despite the best efforts of Dingwall.
That's a smart play, Nick. I like that. It's a deliberate tactic. You play into the open side, then you go back to where the scrum is, because you know the front row, second row's often a little bit slow getting up for that scrum. But they pass it to Freeman. He gets Herbs, who's still trying to backtrack onside, which is why he's not in a good body shape to make a tackle.
I wasn't 100% sure whether the player had gone past him. So.
It's a tactic that everyone uses, Sam, isn't it? It's a little bit of an exit now, actually, short side, and then all you've got to do is hold in your opposite number. Here's the scrum. You know they're going to hit the midfield. They get it to see it just in time as they play. We're not going to see it, but they hold them in there.
Yeah. Not sure he was intentionally offside, and again whether the player had gone past him and played the scrum.
Here's the rest of it. So as they stand up, a little bit tighter. There's a few guys on the floor as you get it away, Sam. It's almost impossible if the scrum goes down for you to get back on side. They're all still there on the far side.
He's nearly done.
See, look how quickly Saints are trying to get that ball away. They desperately want to get that ball away before they can get back on their feet and in line. So just bought themselves an easy penalty, 30 yards at the pitch. Yeah. Nice exit.
He's up. That's right.
So another scrum. Manny Yogan and Titi Lamasatelli head-to-head. Trevor Davison and Finn Baxter. That's a great battle, isn't it? 22-year-old testing himself against the 32-year-old. They'll both be with England next week.
Be interested to see where this goes, Nick, and how much influence Marcus Smith has over this back line.
There's Wayne Fowler, the assistant referee, saying that it was Northampton spinning that. And then Evans, and being chased hard by a galloping Nick David.
Tired collapsed under pressure, and 7 playing the 8.
Saints tight head is Trevor Davison. First full season as a Saint for Davison. Arrived mid-season last season from Newcastle. He had a good old wrestle with Scott Seo. You might have seen it last weekend. Paul Hill went to Edinburgh over the summer. Elliot Miller-Mills far away from playing again after an ankle injury, but we expect Trevor Davison to play a lot for Saints this season, and maybe a bit more for England as well. Add to the cap that he's already won.
Trevor. Come on.
This is Harlequins ball. Let's have a look, if we can, at the work of the lifters and just how well they managed to seal this ball off. Well, that was quicker ball, not so much of an issue. So this is Anyanwu bursting his way through the drive, and again he's been held up.
It was in goal first.
Insistent peep on the whistle of Matthew Carley.
Langdon does really well.
It was over the line initially, yes.
Steps across, gets in the same way that Freeman does. He's a strong carrier, isn't he, through the midfield. Lovely set-up play. Nice pass, he picks the inside line. He's still got the power to stay on his feet. But what Langdon does is he lets him land on top of him, onto his chest. That's textbook defence.
Baxter. Marcus Smith goes in to offer what help he might. They rather ran out of room in their eagerness to get wide.
Put the ball down, please.
Seen that in the last few weekends, Nick, as these gang tackles from Saints. In that case, it was 4. But you're seeing these double shots a lot in defence. They've been so aggressive, particularly last week against Exeter. It was really prominent. Swallowed them up then on the touchline. 4 players on 1 carrier. They're doing very well in the double shot so far indeed.
Well, that line-up was initially won by Chunyamunga, but not cleanly, brought down as he came down, and then it was knocked on, and rather messy line-out on both sides concludes with what will be a Saints scrum.
Yeah, okay.
Finn Baxter on the far side with the head tape. Joe Marler training again, by the way. He was out at the Surrey Sports Park in Guildford this week, broke his toe with England over the summer, but Finn Baxter continuing to learn his England debut against the All Blacks in July.
It's your ball set up. Thank you.
Drawing on the experience of Wales' Wyn Jones as well this season. Heard Adam Jones talking with David Flatman pre-match about how Harlequins' young props are taking so much from all the experience that they have around them during these training weeks. Put back by Langdon for Northampton. Tom James looking for it. Finn Smith, Freeman invited to chase it. Instead it's Smith. First ever Premiership start at fullback. He had 3 starts there for England. David taking a softish blow to the face, although probably didn't feel that soft if you nick David. Anyway, no long-lasting damage. Danny Kerr starting tonight. And gloriously claimed by the fullback. James, Smith waits. Oh, he left that very late as Chandler Cunningham South came in, but that's the kind of defence testing pass that very often works.
Just looking back, Nick, about the detail of your attack, looking at the tail gunner. Danny Kerr gets around the outside. Langdon, he's the tail gunner. He's the last man defensively at the back of the line out. Look what it does, though, to those first 2 defenders. Instead of coming forward and taking their numbers, they have to put their heels down and step inside. That opens the channel. Just watch the feet. Look, both of them plant their feet, and that opens a blindside run through the middle, and they nearly get there for the try. Langdon does exceptionally well, by the way, to get back and make the tackle. Very mobile hooker. But this guy's a much better player than he is a commentator.
Come
at the minute.
Shoulder through, head on the outside, please.
Could be said about a number of people, actually, Austin.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
But it's like those little bits of detail at the back of the line out are so important to make a huge difference.
Yeah, he's actually now Harlequins' oldest ever player in the Premier. He won't thank us for this, but he's overtaken Nick Easter, who used to hold that tag.
Annie Anwer, if he doesn't go on the outside, has got a man-on-man chest-to-chest tackle, doesn't make the break.
Number 1 across and down. Number 1. He's got to bring his shoulder out so he can be square.
It's not been good for the Saints, has it, in recent weeks? Must be a concern, especially losing the weight and the power of Coles. And
Alex Waller, amongst those who retired at the end of last season.
I asked you to bring your shoulder through, and the first thing you did on Crouch there was hide it away again. That's good. Yeah, no.
Such a bright future. Started all 3 games this season, but the added pressure now.
Edge of the line, thank you.
So we're off to a position of the pitch from which Harlequins scored their first try of the night after just 80 seconds. Scored by that man, and Jack Walker will get them going again.
In or out?
Second fastest try of the season. It's a slow, studied walk to the line out. A lot of movement from Kenningham, who is the target. And again, Walker tucking himself in amongst those white shirts and green shorts, and he still has it.
He's come through the seam once.
That's the work of a Yogan who came through the seam. You heard Matthew Carley tell us so, and Yanu gives it away. Over the top from Evans to Smith. Oh, sparkling feet. A flash of footwear, and Marcus Smith was through.
So I think Quins deserved that. I don't think he was through the seam. I thought you could see Ernie Herbs was complaining. He was coming around the outside of Yogan.
It's all clear.
So if they didn't get anything then, you imagine the Quins would have been quite annoyed with that. But Smith now, he just floats off that pass to the left-hand side. Fantastic left foot step back in. I think it was Freeman, he had his one-on-one. Freeman's got his shoulders turned out because he's chasing hard. You can see Smith just looking at his body shape. You can see he's turned out. Just left foot, steps back inside. It's so difficult to defend. Much easier said than done, trying to stay square on a player like Marcus Smith. But that's just that one-on-one, individual brilliance, just reading opposition's body shape. Great step, great recognition, Marcus Smith.
That's going to make the next England camp very, very painful for Freeman, isn't it? And when you see it from behind, Nick, as well, you realise that He's in the perfect position not to let him do that. Look, I'll tell you what I mean by that. So as they set up now, look, he's on his outside, which is a really bad position to be if you want to chase him, because he's going to, Marcus Smith thinks, right, I'm going to gash you. So he lets him go. Now he's in a great position, just let him keep going. And your pace will take him out wide, but because he overruns and gets to his outside shoulder, the step's really easy for a man of his talent. You have to stay on the inside and back your pace. Marcus Smith isn't going to run round Freeman, but he is going to step him.
Going to have a chat with Sam Vesti about that. Saints head coach will be joining us next time the ball goes out of play. A lot for Sam and his fellow coaches to compute. And how long have we been going? 21.5 minutes. So much to talk about, not least the 3 tries. Let's have a chat with Sam. I don't know whether you could see what Austin was analysing there, Sam, but it's a devil of a job, isn't it, to defend Marcus Smith that close to the line?
Yeah, it is. I think you've got to do a better job inside that to give someone of Marcus's class a one-on-one in that area. He could run around you and he can step you, so it's very difficult.
What else do you see? What are the highlights so far for you?
Well, we're not getting our game on the park. I think we haven't looked after the breakdown at all. We're getting dominated. I don't think we've had any phases, so it's very difficult to go and put what we want on the pitch. You know, I think we just need to make sure we sort that out. And here we go.
Oh, nice. And then away over the top from Kemeny, and there's the try. That's what you were talking about, Sam.
Yeah, exactly that. Just do that.
Ollie Slightholm. Let's not bother with Austin's analysis of that try. What have you worked on this week to create moments like that?
It's the same every week. People who can run, get into the next holes and attack the holes. And if you look at Ferbs' line there, he's in between 2 defenders. He gets his hands free out the other side of those 2 defenders, and that's an overlap. And very well done, Josh, to put Ollie away.
Can you see this replay? We'd rather use you than Austin, to be honest.
Can I go then?
Oh, go. Oh, no. We'll let you go, Sam. Austin wants his job back, but thanks very much for your time.
Well, it's very hard to analyse if you can't see it.
And it's converted, 14-all.
Well, if you want to hear what I've got to say about it, Nick, I'm not sure you do, but you're going to hear it anyway, so sod you. But if you just look on the outside, when they hit the middle here, they're in really good position. There's a little stand-up. You'll see here from James, he goes back the wrong way, which just sets the timing wrong. And I think the last defender, yeah, it's David, isn't it? Steps in, he doesn't need to go. If he doesn't go, there's not the space. Wonderful offloads, though, from Saints. There you go.
Backwards play on.
Northampton have had a couple of visits to the 22 Oz, and they've scored 2 tries.
Great analysis, Nick. Thank you.
They're not hitting their straps yet, and you heard Sam Vesti tell us that, but what they are doing is making the absolute most of the opportunities when they're created. Now, Quins respond. Feels like basketball at the moment. It's as it was billed, and it's a good watch.
We made the tackle.
Care. Joseph. Cunningham South. Runs into his opposite number, Sam Graham. Marcus Smith popping up at fly half, and there is the fly half, Evans, but mighty tackles, lots of them. Multi-layered tackle, but
Pull through on your hands.
Not as clean as they might be at the breakdown.
No. Okay, all right. Okay. All right. Away, please. Oh, go back 10 and we can play. The tackler got back up and crawled through on his hands, and they've all gone off their feet on the counter-up.
One of the things Sam talked about before the try, Sam, was Saints being outworked at the moment at the breakdown. Are there obvious reasons for that?
It does seem like it was, when you look all the way back to minute 1, and it was Kenningham who went in for that counter-ruck. It does seem like it's something they've targeted, even the ball. You know, when Saints just got turned over, they were targeting the ball in the air and trying to contact rip. They just don't want Saints to go multi-phase. And if you can be really aggressive the first 3-4 phases, makes it flipping hard to try and get your game going. So yeah, go for that ball, go for the breakdown, and it just stops that continuity that Saints are looking for.
It's a lovely throw from Walker, rifled towards the tail of the line-out and opening up this space that he can try to exploit again. So many options for Harlequins, so many white shirts, hooked over the top, taken by Smith, he has two. '26th minute, we've had 5 tries. It's the game that we promised it would be.
Might just be looking about whether the pass goes forward. It sounds like that's what the crowd on that far side were booing about. But it's just really good set-up play, phase after phase, wrap play. First one, carry through the middle, make the tackle line, quick ruck, the ball's gone, Danny's in and out. Again, wonderful carry by Walker through the middle. You get to this point here, cross the forwards. That looks iffy to me. That might need another look.
It's all clear at the moment.
Cheers, Kitty.
Just the way it comes out of his hands makes me think it's a bit strange. I hope not, because it was a fab try. Here we go, this will tell us. It's a mile forward, isn't it?
It's one of those that goes forward, but not necessarily clearly out of his hands. Nothing clear, you'll have heard Rowan Kitt say. And I think that little thicket of Quinn supporters in that top right corner are going to be the happiest. Smith's conversion, not quite, but they've got the 3rd try.
On your point, Oz, though, 2 good phases. My goodness, Saints can't fold. They just can't fold. It just shows the importance of, if you nail your first phase, there are 2 players steaming onto the ball. So there's always going to be at least a 1v1. Brilliant first phase, rapid. Brilliant second phase, rapid speed of ball. Saints just can't fold. You get two starters like that.
Use it!
2 phases rather, on a good start to play. For backs, his eyes just light up, and Smith, this extra space, has done brilliantly.
Back off Northampton, play on.
Wrestled up by Smith, who lifts it above his head. Herbst, Evans and Yanwu. Marcus Smith inviting Nick David to hair onto this, and David's gathered it. He had a foot in touch just before Finn Smith made absolutely short. We were playing the advantage.
I think Quins have been pretty smart this half as well, Nick. They haven't played too much rugby in their own half. Now, we normally see Quins happy to go 4 or 5 phases on their own 10-metre line, waiting for that break in the 50-metre. But I think Danny Kerr he's put a lid on the game a little bit, and he's kicked a bit more. You probably can think back now in the first 30 minutes, box kicked quite a bit, played a bit more territory, don't want to play into this aggressive Saints defence, which maybe Exeter were a little bit guilty of last week. Happy to kick their way out of their half a little bit more than they traditionally would. And they said they probably played a little bit too much in previous games. So yeah, just getting that balance right. I think they've done very well from a territory perspective, and that demonstrates it there.
It's Harlequins' new defence coach, Jason Gilmore, on the left-hand side, just to the left of Billy Millard. Nick Evans will have recognised standing up. Evans will have enjoyed the work of his side and attack so far. 4 of Saints' 6 penalties, by the way, conceded at the breakdown so far. The latest of them by Furbank for not rolling away, and that set up this position, but position doesn't last long. Oh, it's another penalty. A 7th Northampton penalty. Tells of the pressure that they're being put under defensively. It's high from Langdon.
Shot clock is on already.
Phil Dowson, Director of Rugby of the season last season, alongside Sam Vesti. They've got one of 2 things to think about at the moment, not least the amount of penalties they're conceding. Marcus Smith at fullback. You remember that he stepped in for George Furbank when Furbank was injured early on in that final game of the Six Nations in Lyon, the crackerjack of a game in Lyon. But as we've been saying ad nauseum, and this will be the final time we mention it, it's for the first time in the Premiership. ...16 points for Marcus Smith, a point every 2 minutes.
I think, as Sam said, it's all about the breakdown at the minute. The speed of the ball is putting so much pressure on the Saints defensively that they are making high tackles, they are getting out of alignment, they are losing the tackle line. That's why Quins are in the lead, but they're not in the lead by much. You know, Saints have found a way to get 14 points on the board, as they do, without actually playing any rugby.
It's funny, we've had 5 tries and 36 points in the first half an hour, but it's actually been a bit stop-start, hasn't it? There's not been an awful lot of fluency to the game for a prolonged period of time.
Just line up to him, Saints ball.
I wonder if they'll run a set-up play here. They ran Freeman, they had a scrum about 20 minutes ago in the same position. They ran Freeman off the base. This time, do you think they'll put it in front of him and try and play wide, try and hold everybody in? He's coming across again, here we go. No.
Freeman edging to the left and taking the ball immediately, Oz.
No, run forward.
James, Graham, and Joano Augustus tonight. Finn Smith. And sharp feet of Fraser Dingwall. 100th Premiership game for Dingwall tonight, by the way. Once again, Saints being done at the breakdown.
Exactly, Nick. It's Will Evans who's, I mean, he's there anyway, but I mean, every phase they're hunting that ball. You heard the first phase. Referee say, no, hands away. Second phase, they're having another go. Hands away. Will Evans on the third phase gets in there. It actually looks like Saints just gets that before him, but he's off his feet, Saints player. Can't quite see who it is. But they're just hunting that ball relentlessly every single breakdown. It's either going to make Saints overcommit players or come off their feet. And they're doing very well on it.
It was Rory Hutchinson who went in. If you were playing for Saints right now, Sam, what do you have to do? Is it simply a case of getting there quicker?
It is, you have to win that race, but like as we're seeing, Quins, they're manufacturing great speed of ball and they're getting really good launch plays. I wouldn't say Saints' launch plays have been the best. They've actually defended pretty well, the Quins. They're not getting that speed of ball first phase. If you don't get it first phase, it's very difficult, as we're going to see here. Poor first phase, you lose the ball. There's so much emphasis on that first phase. If you can manufacture a good carry, good speed of ball, it means you can beat the fold, and then it becomes a snowball. Just momentum can build. If you don't get that first phase, it's really difficult to get that momentum back.
You've got to play away from Kenningham and Evans, haven't you?
Yeah.
So if your first carry's tight, like we saw with Freeman, it enables the back row to get off the scrum, ignore the first breakdown, and then get 2 or 3 men wider. So by the time you carry again into the 13 channel, you've got 2 back rowers who can kill you there. I think Saints have got to go wide quicker, much earlier off set piece, get the ball out the back, try and keep these guys tight, make them make tackles. They're making tackles, they're not getting turnovers.
Kenningham and Evans have been truffling around to good effect already this season before tonight. Devastating pair in tandem, and we're seeing it again.
Both sides of the scrum.
Northampton with the penalty.
Penalty advantage.
Ooh, and a painful way down for Hutchinson. Here's Teme Mayana Vanua. You're late to the show. You'll have missed Alex Coles going off injured, replaced by the returning Fijian.
Here or over there, guys.
But on what we just discussed, Nick, good first phase, they get a penalty.
15.
So if you're looking dangerous off your first phase, you can get good runners on the ball, which Saints just manufactured, then you get a good outcome. So that first phase is always so important. Danny Kerr going high on that occasion, he's over chasing because they had a dominant scrum. So if you can start well, it makes it so much easier. Got a penalty as a result, good example.
Just looking back at that last play, Nick, it's a really good example of exactly what Sam's talking about. You know, they come to the short side, it's a reasonable play, decent setup, and they get the penalty here. But look where the carriers, Yengen, he drops a ball out the back there. Quins are all over the place defensively, but we're seeing them carry way too tight too often. The penalty's given the advantage here, though. Oh,
First Harlequins penalty that they've conceded for over 20 minutes, and it leads to Curtis Langdon firing at them in 6th gear. Graham lays it back. Munga. Furbank drifts away to the left, the ball goes the other way, and Smith, Freeman chasing hard, and Marcus Smith had to be a fully signed up fullback just then, and he did his job well, and the frustration of Freeman cost his side 10 metres.
Deliberate setup, wasn't it? Trying to get the big guy Freeman, who is sensational in the air, particularly hands above his head against a smaller, inexperienced in that backfield. But Smith does so well. What about the tackle from Baxter on the line? It's like a dump truck.
This is the one, Oz. You're talking about getting good first phases. Bang! Stop that first phase. That's such a good example. When we say Quins are defending that first phase well, Baxter, hat tip to you. Just stunted that momentum. That's quick ball. Options are completely different for Saints, and it's much harder for Quins. That's brilliant defence off first phase from Baxter. What a shot.
I think if you want to practice that at home, what you should do is fill your couch with concrete and run into it. That's what it'll feel like. Don't recommend any kids do that at home watching this evening. Not, well, it'd be difficult to get concrete Friday night.
Nice work from Pearson, creating a ball for the forwards to run onto that was going forwards. James, again, Saints kicking, and they tend to kick longer than most. I think they'd only retained 7 of the kicks that they've hit so far this season up to kick off here. They're looking more for territory than winning back possession.
Ball is out.
It does mean that Danny Kerr has to do likewise from within his own 10-metre. Freeman went up for the ball. He was chasing it with Oscar Beard.
Yeah, we're playing.
Harlequins thinking they've won another, and there's the result. And Will Evans comes up and pins another medal to his chest.
Kick game breakdown, Nick. That's where Quins have been really smart. Danny Kerr again with the box kick, not interested in playing on his own 10-metre line. Using all his experience, box kick, kick chase, go for the ball. It's not very Quins-like, it's not what we're used to seeing from Quins, but it's working. And this territory game, this breakdown game has been brilliant for them this first half.
There's Jason Gilmore, new defence coach. Australian in to replace Jerry Flannery this season, who's gone to the Springboks. Australia A experience, he's looked after their under-20s, and he's a very high-end addition to what Harlequins are all about. They've always been good at the breakdown, but the business of tightening the defence, I think all of the players would agree, the one area that they really needed to sharpen up this season, and we're seeing examples of that here tonight. Line out, snaffled by Levis, and then sniping run from Kerr takes him over the 22. Baxter into Northampton's 22 with the ball in hand for the 8th time in this half. That looked like it went forwards, but on we go. Jared Evans hoisted over the top to Beard. Not mentioned Oscar Beard much so far this half. Starting on the wing because Cassius Cleves hurt his hamstring a week ago. Picked up by Anyanwu. Kenningham. Brianna Vanua coming in to stop him. Nick Davids stretching Saints' defensive cloth as much as he can on this right-hand side. Now he moves in to involve himself on the left. Drop goal from Jared Evans. Yeah, it was a scruffy, sticky old thing.
Half-time.
But we will not be complaining about the entertainment, the tries and the points that we've had in this first half. Marcus Smith with 17 of them, all to himself, a couple of tries. Jack Walker got the first for Harlequins, Smith with the next 2. In between that lot, Mania Yogan and Ollie Slight home for Northampton. fascinating contest, with Quins winning it on the ground at the moment and on the scoreboard. Half-time at the Gardens. Northampton 14, Harlequins 22.
Here we are poised for a cracking second half, where the champions will have to turn things around if they're to maintain their year-long home winning streak. At Saints 14, Quins 22. Nick, over to you.
Thanks, Orla. First half, a story of Marcus Smith and a pair of London truffle pigs. Jack Kenningham and Will Evans adding to a flurry of early season turnovers in that first 40. A dozen now between them. Kenningham 5, Evans 7. Added 3 to his tally so far tonight.
No.
I wonder how much of half-time was spent with Northampton working out how to restrict them in the second half. The breakdown, an area that Saints have got to sort out if they are to maintain that long unbeaten run here in the Prem at Franklin's Gardens. Mayana Vanua on in the first half for the injured Coles, and Saints running it and kicking it. Hutchinson looking for space, and Evans, the fly half, forced to go back and finding himself in a bit of a hole. Did well just to buy that extra half a second on his feet to give the forwards time to run around and provide the muscle. Cunningham South. Still not a comfortable place for Harlequins to be. Langdon did what he could to put as much pressure on the clearing kick of Kerr, but he finds a safe touch.
On the line, Quins. Stay there, Steph.
That's a smart kick. Put an awful lot of pressure on the Welshman. Didn't panic, turned well. Saints line out, taken by Chunyamunga. Langdon. Graham. Oh, it's beyond Graham to Pearson.
Backwards, play on.
Saints will get another go. It wasn't clean ball, but it's still their ball. And Iogan, who scored their opening try.
Like there was any arms to me.
Kemeny. The new Wallaby.
Are we on advantage, you think?
Northampton advantage, we think,
Nothing clear yet.
according to Matthew Carley. It's the voice of Rowan Kidd in the background. Pearson flicks it up for Langdon. Cuts inside the tackle of Backstep. Finn Smith. Mayana Vanua got the ball away from down by his knees, and Hutchinson, strength and then the footwork to take Northampton to within 6-7 metres. Iogan. Will Evans inevitably having a look over the top, but not this time. And out by Dingwall and Hutchinson, and slight, bang to the face, but over the line.
I think he drops the ball. Okay.
Might be bad news delivered by Matthew Carley. Did he ground it? Was it clean? Rowan Kitt and his screen in our van will tell us.
No try, I think he dropped the ball.
Okay.
We'll check that first, please.
On-field decision, no try.
And you said there was nothing clear on that one in midfield.
Correct, but I just want to check this collision here on the screen now.
It's a penalty try, isn't it?
Okay, let me get in a better position.
On to the head.
Okay, so there's no try, it's not on. We're just looking at the actions.
What about this from Nick David?
It's a penalty try, Nick.
So the
Definite try if he doesn't hit him in the face.
Over the shoulder or whether it's clear head and neck contact.
David's right forearm comes right into the side of his face.
We freeze on the point of contact.
There. It's a penalty try.
Okay, so as he's in the act of scoring, he clearly makes contact with the head-neck area.
Agree.
Okay, so for me, then we're looking at a penalty try and a yellow card against 14 Quins.
Agree.
Okay.
14-1.
14.
It's Nick David. Grateful to be running around again at the start of this season after the injury at the back end of the last one, but he's going to spend the next 10 minutes not running around. And the penalty try. Perfect start to this second half for the hosts.
Well, you said how are Saints going to fix it, Nick, and they were so aggressive. I watched them all 9 phases building up to that try. They were so aggressive, so quick, clearing out that ball, that Quins couldn't get near it. Much more aggressive. That's a simple message, and I'm not going to reinvent the wheel. There's nothing too technical. Got to support the ball carrier better and be way more aggressive when you clear out. Get that player gone, get that Quins player off the ball, get there quick. And all 9 phases, Saints were on it, every single one. And eventually they got their reward. So it's good ball retention from Saints for the first time in this game.
Restart gathered in by Hutchinson, and he goes, and Quins defending a man down and immediately under pressure. Hutchinson chasing hard. It's him and Joseph. Marcus Smith will get there first, and he clears up. But a different feel to this match all of a sudden. A point in it.
Yeah, they've come alive, haven't they, the Saints? You need your big, experienced players to step forward.
5 metres, please.
This is a really good example. Spins out, lovely little step to the outside. Then the kick and chase.
Okay then, Marcus, let's play.
Here's Freeman.
20.
James Graham straightened up as much as he could, but he was knocked back 2 or 3 steps. Evans again in there. James Pearson, oh, strong from Pearson. Decided not to go for the Hollywood offload, probably wisely. Mayana Vanua. Graham again, he's been busy over the last 30 seconds. Saints drifting away to the left-hand side. Here's Finn Smith. Davison. Hutchinson near right.
Thank you.
Dingwall. Freeman. He's popped up in midfield. Again, it's Graham. James Pearson. Nicely done. Beautiful from Smith. This is Tommy Freeman. James being held in. Eogan shoveling away for his second try. It will need to be checked, but if the video replay is kind to Saints, they'll have scored a couple in the first 5 minutes of the second half.
I know it's easy to say from here, Nick, but how much better are Saints when they look after the ball? Every ruck again, what's the next attack set? Every single ruck, they support that ball, it's like lightning, they're over there. And Quins cannot get any player to compete, not one competes in those 6-7 phases. They're looking after the ball so much better, and momentum is just building and building. Couple it with good carries.
Happy with him? Yeah. Okay, we're going to carry on.
This is a good angle. Kenningham does well there to get underneath again. We see some great try-saving tackles this evening.
Time on, let's play, Marcus. Let's play, it's a leg injury.
Yeah, the defensive work of both sides when they've been over their own try line. Northampton doing it a couple of times in the first half. Jack Kenningham doing it just then for Harlequins. Graham.
Watch these clear-outs now, Nick. Look how much on it Saints are compared to first half. Carry, support player straight away.
And now the penalty against Evans. Well, taken quickly by James.
No issue.
Harlequins were 10 metres.
No.
Dingwall to Mayana Vanua. One of those players who will be invited to carry more this season in the absence of all those carriers who've headed off to lands elsewhere. Pearson, another. Smith. Freeman took it standing still, but creates his own momentum with the kick, and Marcus Smith calls for the mark.
He just reacts so quickly, doesn't he? He knows it's coming. Doesn't commit with his shoulders forward, but already turns his body. Gets back to take the catch before Freeman's got the speed to get past him. Can't quite see it from this angle, but he's already turned. Doesn't commit. Just nice play.
Talk this week that he has agreed to extend his contract at Harlequins. A bit of talk last season that he might be on his way, but
over
Danny
15.
Wilson pre-match not prepared to confirm that. He didn't deny it either, so make of that what you will. It'll be in Quinn's gift to tell us if and when he has. Meantime, Marcus Smith and Quinn's defending and having to defend big time, smartly through. Nearly worked, and Northampton were very nearly in for their third try in the first 7 minutes of this busy, energetic second half.
Time off.
I appreciate I'm not skip, sir, but we want to get on with our game now.
Yeah, we need him to throw the ball into the line out. You want the same if it's your
And
hooker.
Yamwe there,
Time's off.
he was dipping down in the tackle, but I'm just wondering whether actually he just hits him with his shoulder with an attempt to wrap. I wouldn't mind seeing that, and Yamwe tackle again.
Timo wants to have another look.
It's just the first angle we saw doesn't show whether he's got his arm out to make the tackle. They're both dropping in height. It's not this one yet.
Now this is just a clear out from Pearson. You're just seeing the emphasis from the Saints supporting players so much better at ruck time. They're seeing the threat that was cutting him south. Pearson just takes him out, so he's no threat.
Player slipping on the floor.
Yeah, thank you.
Here we go, look at Pearson now. He's got no other focus but to get rid of Cunningham South. He's the only guy who could compete on that ball, on his feet sniffing around. You see him there, you just take him out, get him out of the game, and you're seeing that every single phase from Saints. Their breakdown attack is wildly better than first half.
Him off, okay?
Pearson doing a good job as first arrival then, setting the tone.
In 2 minutes, okay?
He'd have expected thunder and lightning at the breakdown, particularly with Will Evans and Jack Kenningham in town, but he's winning it on points in this second half so far. Queen's defensive line out, taken by Kenningham.
Once!
Now Vanille is in a very awkward position from a Harlequins point of view, and they'll be grateful in the end to clear away, but not by much.
You've been in that position before though, Sam, where you play against a back rower who's just a jackler, not much else, doesn't carry, and he's always going to be lower than you at the breakdown, so essentially you've got to beat him before the breakdown actually forms, haven't you? It's the only way to beat him.
So what I would say is, as a guide, is if you're a support player, your hand has got to be on your player, your ball carrier, so when he goes to ground, you're there. You can't let the ruck form and then you try and join it. You've got to almost go to ground with your ball carrier, so you latch onto him, go to ground with him.
Finn Smith went the other way. He was followed by Furbank, James, Graham. Harlequin still with 4 minutes of the Nick David yellow card to survive, and the right wing is where Nick David would have been naturally defending. And there you go, battle resumed on the floor, Sam.
It's a great example from Oz's question. So because the ball carrier got separated from his support player, it gives Kenningham a chance. I know it's difficult when you're playing in a team where you might want to expect the offload, but when the player goes to contact, look how far away the next closest Saints player is. He's probably, when he goes to ground, 2 or 3 metres away. Well, Kenningham just gets straight in over there. So the one moment, it's probably the first ruck this half, they haven't been close enough in support. Got to be within arm's length maximum to look after that ball. They swoop in.
Sam, just that technique as well, where you find yourself actually for half a second in front of the ball, but you're bouncing back at the same time as getting your hands on it.
You mean as the attacking player?
As Kenningham just
Oh
then.
yeah, no, he does really well. I mean, it's so difficult once you're down low, and it's a drill I love to do with young players, is trying to get used to, when you're in a low position, to manoeuvre yourself backwards like a spider so you can get in over that ball rather than having to stand up and reload. So being able to move when you're low down is a key skill.
Going to have a word with Nick Evans in a moment or two. Harlequins attack coach.
Step out, Prem, step out.
There's another Evans who's been prominent tonight. Will Evans draws it away for Quins as they try to find halfway. It's been a full-on defensive effort for them in this first 10 minutes of the second half, what with losing Nick David to the yellow and the concession of the try. Might have been more, but for the time being, Harlequins desperately working hard to protect that 1-point lead.
Second attempt, the ruck was formed.
See, Nick Langdon is having a right
You
go
went
at
for the
Will
ball
Evans.
once and missed it. We then had a ruck and you went in a second time.
You can tell they've definitely spoke about it at half-time. Anyone who gets near there, punish them. And Langdon letting him know he's all over him.
Let's have a chat with Nick Evans. Nick, what can you tell us about the breakdown battle? What are you seeing from your point of view?
Yeah, Nick, that's my specialty. Obviously, being a former 10 is around the breakdown. But you know, Matt's a very good referee. And he's very hot on rolling away. He's very hot around that attacking breakdown. And guys making that decision around jackal opportunities, and if someone's in that way, he's pretty quick to fire over it. So we've spoken about how we need to make that really clear when we've got the ball, and especially defensively as well, making sure we tackle and get out of the way, because he's pretty hot, as you've seen.
Let's talk about your specialist subject, this attack. What kind of shapes are you seeing from Saints that are causing you a few issues at the moment?
Yeah, look, it's pretty obvious on here. They've increased the ruck tempo. We've also got a man down at the moment, so backfield's been pretty exposed for us. And look, we're just trying to absorb this period of play, which hopefully we can do and get back to what we need to do.
Brilliant. We'll let you go. Cheers.
Thank you.
Smith, Kemeny on the turn and the twirl, and then whipped away by Hutchinson, and here's Freeman. 90 desperate seconds for Harlequins to hold on a man down. Graham again. How busy has Sam Graham been in this second half? Likewise, Eogan. Furbank lofted high, looking for space on that left side. Slide home, wriggling through. I think he's dropped it again.
Yes, Jared Evans knocked it out of his hands. Showed amazing strength to get through the first tackle.
Multiple players down, time off. Just scrum.
Just rips it out, doesn't he? I think we've seen 5, 6 try-saving tackles or held-ups.
Looks deliberate, that from Jared Evans. Does very well, doesn't he? Right arm just goes down, plays that ball. You can see it here, his right arm slipped it down. It's very well.
Can you give that as a try then?
I guess if he's not on his feet, you can contact rip if you're on your feet, but if you're not on your feet, you can't contact rip it when you're off the feet. You need to look at that again. Is he on his feet?
Carrying on? Yeah, let's go, deadline. Scrum. Okay.
You can rip it here.
Yeah.
That's a rip, so it's not a knock-on. Does Slightham touch it again?
Over on the 5.
Yeah, I suppose so, on the way down to the floor.
You may well have seen in the middle of all that, but Will Porter has come on at scrum half for the Harlequins off the bench tonight. After starting the first couple of rounds, Danny Kerr has done his job. Season when all things being equal, he may hit 300 games in the Premiership, Danny Kerr. 19th season for him, but his work done. Porter on.
See, in these moments, Nick, if they give you a Quins player, it takes a senior player to almost, when you have a chance to speak to your lads, it's like, look, we're still winning this game, and it's going to take one big moment which can put a pin in this momentum, this balloon of momentum that Saints got. Could be a scrum penalty, could be a brilliant box kick, it could be a massive shot in defence or a great carry, but one moment can really swing momentum, and just remember, you're still in the lead. So take control, but somebody needs to step up for a big moment and stop this Saints momentum. That'll have a massive shift on this game. Here we go.
Hit and hold, please.
Time up on the yellow. Nick David down below, warming up. He's still got his warm jacket on, but he won't be far away from rejoining this contest. Taken quickly by Slightham. Freeman thought about kicking, but he saw that space was being occupied by Evans, Jared Evans, so he ran instead, and with some purpose. Finn Smith. Meana Vanua. Head down up to the 10-metre line. James, Furbank, and those feet and those hands, and here's Finn Smith. Just look now at the attacking options that Northampton have, these drills engineered by Sam Vesti. Devil of a job to defend against them, as Nick Evans was telling us a few minutes ago. Hutchinson, and now Freeman popping up on the other side. And here's Smith. Things beginning to stick for Northampton, going through the phases. puncturing some half holes. Mayana Vanua the latest.
Shot home player.
Maybe Pearson next. Here he is. The tip of the diamond. The tip of the arrowhead. James. Eogan. Quinn's desperate in defence, maybe about to be breached once more. No way through for Tom James. But it's a matter of metres now, maybe even a matter of a metre. Graham goes, scores! It's a different Northampton in this second half. Quinn's, albeit a man down, in a different kind of contest. And Northampton ahead.
Quinn's losing shape. It was dominant carries. It was Pearson, then Eogan going forward phase after phase. And as Graham just gets a one-on-one, it's Will Joseph. He has no right to be there. It's not his fault, but the forwards are all either on the floor or on the far side. But you want your forwards, 2 or 3 players either side of that ruck. They need to defend the heavy hitters from Saints. But Joseph gets sucked in from all the good ball carries. 2 forwards, 1 back, 2 metres out. Only 1 winner.
That's a roars of Shoe Army around this ground in the middle of Shoe Town, in the middle of Northampton. They're enjoying themselves much more in this second half of locals.
It's really evident, isn't it, that the forwards got a shoe in at half-time from the coaches, because they've come out and performed like a different pack. They've carried really well, their work rate's been higher, they've got to every breakdown earlier, and it's a different Saints. Now they look like a champion team. The first half, they looked like they wouldn't get in the top 4. Got to give the coaches huge credit for turning it around at half-time.
Yeah.
Issues now for Danny Wilson.
Use it!
A couple of Quinn's changes in the middle of all that. Dylan Lewis is on for Titi Lamasatelli and Dino Lamb for Stefan Levis. So Marcus Smith is the new captain. It's coming himself. Continuing to stretch the 8 shirt across his shoulders, with Alex Dombrandt recovering from his broken hand. Evans to the new man. Welshman to Welshman. Evans to Dylan Lewis. Porter, Baxter, Evans and Yanwu. And then Oscar Beard popping on in midfield, and the captain, the new captain Smith, boot to ball.
Such a good kick, that.
Goal line.
Running out of space, everyone's moving sideways towards the touchline. And he puts an inch-perfect kick. Takes all the pressure off his own team.
It's interesting to see him working with Lee Halfpenny this week. Halfpenny not fit this week because of a shoulder issue, but what Marcus Smith will learn from a kicking point of view, not just off the tee, but in hand as well, with Lee Halfpenny in camp now.
Yeah, well, speaking to some of the Quins coaches pre-match, and that's a big part of signing Lee Halfpenny. His rugby IP is phenomenal. He's done all his coaching badges. He wants to go into the coaching game to get a player. But you're also getting one of the most tactically astute fullbacks in world rugby, particularly when it comes to defensive shape. So even if he's injured, he's still have a big impact on this Quins team.
Just another Quins change. Bryn Bradley, another Wales player. Wales under 20 on for Lennox and Yanwu in midfield.
Use it. Play it.
Kick that's anyone's and ends up being Harlequins and Marcus Smith.
Off his feet, he's off his feet. Off your feet.
Hard work over the ball initially from a saintly perspective. Ernie Herbst starting again ahead of Joe Launchbury this evening. Here's the new man Bradley. Here's Beard.
Player dropping.
Working out on the wing tonight with so many injuries to Quinn's back 3 at the moment. Barely have time to go through them all, but they are copying and pasting at the moment when it comes to 11, 14 and 15. Number 1 is Baxter. Number 10 is Jared Evans. Smith away to Will Evans. Baxter. It's the best part of Harlequins' second half so far. Kenningham scraping away from tackles. It's good work as well to keep Furbank's hands off that. And now goes Smith, and Harlequins for the first time in this second half asking questions. And this is Dino Lamb, hops out of one challenge, that close. Porter, there quickly, Cunningham South. He's on his back, he's got to get it back and he can't. Once again, the quality of the defence that close to the try line.
I think that's gone the wrong way. I don't think they ever release him in the tackle. This could be a really harsh penalty against Quins and a defining moment in the match.
Time off.
It's a great carry through the middle, isn't it? Keeps the leg drive going. Looks like he might offload to Baxter, but keeps driving through.
Jack.
Then they break again on the outside. Good defence from Saints to stop Dino Lamb here. Smith in. I just wasn't sure that there was a release on this guy now. Does he release? Does he come in from the side? I think that's harsh.
Okay, time off, time off. Sorry, gents.
That's close, isn't it?
I've seen that given from the side, I've seen it given as a pen. You know, that is right on the borderline there.
That's right.
Quins have made a change at hooker. And the end of Jack Walker's 50th Premiership game for Harlequins on top of the 59 he made for Bath, and he's been replaced by Nathan Jabulu. It's been quite an opening few weeks to the Gallagher Premiership for that young man, just 21. First Premiership start last weekend against Newcastle, marked it with a try, another try.
Are we good?
It's great seeing a lot of these 20s lads coming from a successful summer, getting some game time early in the Premiership. Looks like England Rugby's got a bright future ahead of it.
Northampton about to make a whole cavalry load of changes. We'll bring those to you when they happen as James tries to bring the ball away.
Let go. Just leave it, leave it. Leave it, he cleared you legally. Off him, Chuck.
Langdon's been hitting loads of people in any ruck he possibly can.
Catch from Oscar Beard. In midfield last weekend for the injured Luke Northmore. Starting on the wing tonight for the injured Cassius Cleves. Here's the new man, Bryn Bradley, for just the third time in the Premiership, debut last season. Centre up through the academy. And here's Jabulu. It's low and hard. Evans. And another Evans, Jared Evans to Smith. Oh, and Smith got clobbered by Pearson as he got that ball away. And now Furbank. Marcus Smith back on his feet, back with us.
Hold, retreat, stop 19, thank you.
Finn Smith, oh, that's a monster of a kick. Jared Evans goes back, prevents the 50-22.
Right, retreat, thank you, Quins, keep retreating.
Spiral on that kick. Smith steps over halfway. Slight home. Held on to by Bradley.
On the body, he's not on the ball.
Pearson, all the way through. Furbank. Oh, beautifully off the floor. Slams in. You don't have a second to take a cat nap when you're defending against Northampton. That good. Lead stretched.
Slightholm just comes alive. Furbank makes the sort of semi-line break and Quins just stop. Nobody's tracking any players. And Slightholm's acceleration over 5 to get into support is brilliant. They come to the left. Furbank finds a half gap and he gets through or slips through. Probably more by accident, but Slytone's the only one who comes alive. It's Dylan Lewis who's sort of tracking inside. Nick David, Jaron Evans just don't expect it. But Slytone does brilliantly. Here he is, he's the only player flooding through. Looks like it's some tired Quins defence on the inside.
3 tries in 20 minutes. And a game that was, while not being all London in the first 40, was pretty much London. Now being dictated by East Midlands voices.
We're good, boys.
Applause in the background for the Northampton replacements, which will bring you up to speed within a minute. Meantime, Finn Smith and his conversion to make it 35-22, which he fails.
It's not the best kick, is it? But I love seeing a player who's definitely had a rollicking at half-time, and it's Langdon on this occasion. Just watch him. All he does, it's only a little nudge, but he just gets in the way. It's not obstruction, doesn't actually lead to anything, but he's been niggle. This whole half, he's been about niggle, and that's all come from the half-time bollocking that he's had. He's been absolutely steamrolling in there, and he's come out and smashed people. And one of the reasons why Saints have turned it around, it's not all flash, it's not all, you know, skill. It's because their forwards have stepped up finally. That was a really good example of why. He's such a good player, isn't he?
He's been class this second half. Himself and Pearson have really sort of led that charge and sharpened the elbows a little bit, taking the game to Quins.
Those Saints changes. Archie McParland is on. You'll have seen him get the ball away, the teenage scrum half. He's on because Tom James has headed off for an HIA. 2 new props as well. Tom West and Luke Green. Henry Pollock is on for Sam Graham in the back row, and James Ram also. Cunningham South.
Tackle, let him go, move out.
In the field,
no,
if it's not stating the obvious too much, that Harlequins have got to score next if they're to retain an interest in winning this. That won't help.
Keep playing, we'll see.
Furbank.
Okay, advantage over.
For the long kick, picks out Marcus Smith instead.
Quins, retreat, retreat. Thank you.
Sprinting Finn Smith.
Yes, sir. Step out. Saints. Northampton, step out.
It's good play for Marcus Smith. Good positional play originally in the backfield. Collects the ball well. Pins it right the way down. Close to that touchline. It's a really difficult kick for Finn Smith. Good backfield cover. Good territorial kick. He's looking nice at 15, isn't he?
Out. Sorry. Go far over. Scrum or line out? Scrum or line out? Scrum.
So here's a scrum with 2 new Northampton props in Tom West and Luke Green. So Luke Green, young prop, 23-year-old, joined Northampton this season after a bit of time in the USA, the MLR with San Diego. Already made his name in this country, however, before then, Richmond, Ampthill, London Irish Academy, and now here he is in the Prem. And that Saints scrum struggling a little bit. And Quins get the free kick.
7 out the tunnel. Can't take a scrum.
I think he moved into Milton Keynes, Nick, because he wanted something that was just so completely opposite to San Diego.
Much nicer than San Diego.
Yeah.
10.
He's got to think about roundabouts. He missed him.
So Dino Lamb season when he hopes to re-establish himself with Italy. Missed the Six Nations last season with injury. Smith. Oh, he's chopped down.
On the ball for me.
That,
No,
Hutchinson working hard initially, and then the rest of his mates.
Saints had the ball, you played it on the floor.
Penalty goes against Finn Baxter.
Number 1.
They all love giving Marcus Smith a clip on the floor, don't they? He's just electric. The ball's along the floor. He picks it up on the bounce. He still beats the first 2 defenders.
Into the line. Thank you.
Gets chopped. Hutchinson gets over the top.
Seemed with George Ford's quad injury putting a major question mark over his participation in the Autumn Nations. We'll see the 2 Smiths for England. Marcus Smith, Finn Smith, vying for that 10 shirt. Evans, and here's Bradley, the new man for Harlequins. Will Joseph.
Backwards, play on.
Went backwards as Porter scuffled around for the ball. Chisholm. James Chisholm on for Quins. This is Jabulu.
Tackle now, let him go. Thank you.
David. And Oscar Beard. Taken up by Joseph again. Smith. Baxter. Quins have just steadied themselves after a brutal start to this second half.
Dominant tackle for me.
Then Bryn Bradley upended unceremoniously.
No.
Northampton's turn to defend with some menace. David gliding his way through.
Touch off Saints.
Porter's kick, but it'll
Quinn's
be
ball.
Harlequins through. Claire's down on the touchline. Who have you got, Claire?
Trev, bearing in mind we are a family-friendly show, what was said at half-time? You're a different side in this 40.
Basically that we need to impose our game on them, not let them do it to us. The breakdown, we need to fix the breakdown, and then we came out second half showing what we can't do when we're stick to our processes.
We knew the breakdown would be a nightmare. Jack Kenningham, Will Evans, they are demons on the floor. But how exhausting is it resourcing those breakdowns out there?
It's been a focus all week. We knew what was coming, and just a bit we came out slow and stuff from the start.
Congratulations on the England call-up. We're going to get back to the action.
Thanks very much.
For you now.
Trevor Davison with Claire now. What about this tip? I think it might be Tom Pearson under the microscope for that on Bryn Bradley.
Oh, it's a good shot. He lands flat on his back. I don't think he goes maybe a smidge beyond the horizontal, but I think he hits him and wraps his arm so well.
Can we see it in real speed, please?
I don't think doesn't look like he pulls too much. I think it's a great shot.
A lift above the horizontal. He lands on his back. It's whether there's enough, whether there's a drive or anything that makes it a yellow card or just a penalty. I see one more time in full speed, please.
Because he hits him and takes his legs away straight away. It just stunts all that momentum. Probably could be a little bit more careful with his right arm if you were going to give some feedback. Just chill out on that right arm, don't pull it too high, but he hits him so well.
So we're going to go penalty.
The initial
only,
shot
right?
was great.
Okay.
Yep.
You see Tom Pearson celebrating what he thought was a high-quality, high-end tackle, but the officials in the end thought differently, and it's cost him a penalty. One of those right on the edge. You'll understand his frustration, but you'll understand Quinn's perhaps thinking that it should have been a straight arm, which is what it is. Approaching the final 10 minutes, 55 points already. How many more will the final 10 bring us? Will it bring enough for Harlequins to initially get something out of this, perhaps with the try-scoring bonus point, losing bonus point, maybe even winning it?
A little bit sloppy ball in hand their last 2 visits. They've managed to get these inroads into the 22, but missed line out, drop ball in phase play. Need to get something from this.
Look at Nathan Jabulu's throwing. Straight to Kenningham.
Once!
Miana Banua trying to get his spoon in there. Work of Luke Green as well, but it's Quins who spin it. Porter Jabulu.
Tackle.
Able to cut back inside. Lamb. Baxter. It's more Jabulu for a lot of work. And now Will Evans. Chandler Cunningham South fishing for the ball. Ooh, and then driving into the referee.
Use it.
All the way through for Kenningham. Oh, and it's brought away brilliantly by Henry Pollock. Goodness me, we have seen some top quality poaching tonight. It's been a poacher's festival, Sam.
I've absolutely loved it, Nick. And Pollock, since he's come on, I've just been watching him quietly. He's been everywhere. He's only 19, he's 20 in January. Exceptional young talent. He's had a big impact on this game in just the 5-10 minutes he's been on loan. Another great prospect.
David. Evans. He's got Bradley outside on. Bradley gathers. Does really well to get it back infield. Try scored by Porter. London lights still burning. Harlequins' hope still there.
It was high risk from Bryn Bradley. Just felt 2 minutes ago when they were just going off 9, it was a little bit lacklustre. It was a bit obvious. Saints could swallow it up, and Jared Evans just put a little bit of injection and pace onto his run, onto that ball. Just about to receive it now. Just kicks outside, creates a 2v2 into a 2v1. Really good work from Jared Evans. He just steps outside the Saints defender. Bryn Bradley, a bit optimistic, but that's it. That's the nice little kick. He just gets outside man of Vanua. That's speculative, but it stays in play. High risk, high rewards, but really good injection of pace from Jared Evans.
73rd minute, and the first Harlequins points of this second half, but they are big points.
They needed that, Nick. 3 points wouldn't have been enough. They still would have been beyond 7. They had to get a try from that visit. And now it's game on.
7 minutes to go, 4 points in it. Marcus Smith now 19 in his own little personal bank account. Oh, what a lovely shot that is on our Cinecam. Josh again on Cinecam. He'll be in Hollywood before the end of the season. We should enjoy Josh while we have him.
He keeps doing that before the end of the game.
Spielberg will be looking for his number.
Use it!
Both sides now with the try-scoring bonus point. Northampton and Harlequins.
Yeah. Quinn, stop on the line.
There's Porter. A couple of tries in the win at Twickenham last April.
Quinn, get out.
Important one, potentially important one here now. There's a throw for Robbie Smith, who's on for Northampton. Scotland international these days, won the first of his 2 caps on the summer tour against Canada.
Use it!
Ultimate Parland still at scrum half. Hutchinson, Smith, oh, Furbank really accelerated onto that. Important tap from David. Parland. And here is Robbie Smith. Number of Smiths on the pitch right now, requiring the use of their Christian names. And Hutchinson got the ball away. Dino Lamb was onto him legally. Hutchinson's kick finds touch.
Brilliant kick. Just push Quins down, apply pressure to them, try and turn them over in the red zone. Really well executed, wasn't it? Eases forwards now. Just to take a bit of pressure off because it's starting to mount.
Jordan Ells now part of Harlequin's lifting crew. He's replaced Finn Baxter for the final 5 or so minutes of this contest that hasn't let us go all game. Been on it since the opening try after 80 seconds, remember, for Jack Walker. He had 7 more since.
Time off. Queen's 13.
Another relatively new face for Harlequins coming on. That's Cameron Anderson, Scottish utility back, signed from London Scottish last season. His opportunity with the team missing a raft of back three players at the moment. Tyrone Green not far away. He was training this week. Caden Murley likewise.
Don't step across the gap. Thank you.
Right now, as Danny Wilson wanted to, blooding new players. There was just a feeling that last season, in the end, towards the back end of games last season, they were a little bit tired because they relied too much on the tried, tested, established superstars of the club, looking to stretch the cloth a little bit more this season, and being stretched here again by Northampton. Here's Ram.
Let go!
West, fourth Premiership club. Wasps, Leicester, Saracens, Northampton.
You pinned him. No, play the ball.
Tommy Freeman.
No.
West eager again to thump into Quinn's shirts. All the way past Jabulu.
Backwards, play on, backwards. Not now. Ball is out.
Oh, Kemeny no. Oh, and giving it to Cunningham South. Oh, and then Kenningham loses it.
2 knock-ons, will come back for the first one.
Which means it'll be a Quinn scrum.
Just the last few phases, watching Furbank's ability to change direction just as he's getting the ball on the tackle line. And some player at the minute, I think that's the right thing. There's a obstruction there, isn't there, on Furbank, so...
It's because I felt that your tackler pulled them, like stepped back and pulled them off their feet, so just unsure. Seemed unfair for a turnover. No. Yeah.
There's Henry Pollock. First run out this season, hugely promising teenager. Debut last season when he was just 18. He's 19 now, as Sam intimated. Junior World Championship winner with England in July.
Sideways across the pitch and then round. Oh, sorry. Same scrum.
Oh, it is still Harlequins' ball. Well, we talked pre-match about how so many of these games, particularly recently, are always close. Always entertaining, always full of points, always full of tries, and there's a danger when you put the big headline banners out. But
quickly then, please.
Again, a contest that's kept us engrossed, and Henry Pollock amongst those who know there is still work to do in the remaining 120 seconds or so.
If it's available, let's play unless you're going forward. Crouch! Bind! Set! Take it out.
Oh, Porter didn't get it away cleanly, and that might be that.
Both drops went down on this side after the use it, 9 knocked it on.
Frustration etched on the face of Will Evans.
Saints ball.
But these are seconds that, if Northampton are clever enough, they can squeeze away and take the win.
Yeah, come on, let's go. Take it out.
Pollock. 30 seconds left to manage what's left of this contest.
Let go.
Laid back by Green. McParland with Pearson waiting. McParland again, 15 seconds to go. Tom West, all of his experience. Well, it's been about the only time in this game where things are a little bit predictable. Northampton have done what we expected them to do. They have squeezed out time, and they have squeezed out the win. But as starts to your rugby weekend go, to your Gallagher Premiership rugby weekend, that's not bad. Weekend launched. 8 tries, 4 each. 5-star entertainment at the Gardens. Northampton 33, Harlequins 29. Austin, player of the match.
It really was an entertaining game, wasn't it? Had everything, bits of skill, mistakes, physicality, but there's some fantastic performances. I think we've got to mention on the losing side, Evans and Kenningham, they were sensational over the breakdown. They almost got Quins across the line. But then Northampton came out in the second half. In the first half, they only carried for 79 metres. In the second half, they did over 300 metres from 100-odd carries. And the guy right at the centre, that was Sam Graham. 19 carries for that guy, and he just shades it over Langdon, who was also fantastic in the second half. So that's why our Gallagher Premiership player of the match is Sam Graham. 19 carries. That's what got Saints back into the game. A bit of physicality, a bit of old-fashioned grunt.
Well, it's Derby weekend in the Premiership next season, so life won't get any quieter for these two. Saracens at the Stoop next Sunday. On the Saturday, Northampton away to Leicester at Mattioli Woods, Welford Road. This Premiership getting better and better and better, and busier and busier and busier. This will do for starters this weekend. Saints 33, Quins 29.
Well, did the home fans love that? It took 55 minutes for Northampton Saints to take the lead. Once they did, though, they didn't relinquish it, and their unbeaten run at Cinch Stadium at Franklin's Gardens, which has continued for a year, continues yet still. A thrilling game here in Northampton. Well, Northampton Saints, the defending champions, are celebrating another victory at home tonight. Also celebrating Sam Graham, who is our player of the match. Claire is having a word with him.
He absolutely is, and I'm going to invite Freddie Lindsay from Gallagher to present him with his medal. Congratulations, Sam. Wonderfully done, Freddie. Thank you very much. You were men possessed in that second 40. What was it like in there at half-time? And was it more a tactical or an emotional fix that was required?
To be honest, yeah, I think it's probably more of an emotional fix. I think we were a bit flat in that first half. I think we had a lot to put right. So, yeah, a bit of a rocket at half-time, but fortunately we sort of turned it around.
But how much confidence does it give you that you were still just 8 points behind at the break, that you were able to stay in touch with a team like Harlequins despite being so visibly frustrated?
Yeah, I think we had moments and we took them, and I think that's probably the confidence that we have in this team that we've worked really hard to build. But you know, we just need to be better. If we can tighten up a few of those moments, we go in not 8 points down but 8 points ahead, and that's where we want to be.
It was the toughest of possible opening assignments, a trip down to the Wreck on the opening night, but does it feel like you're hitting your stride, and with the likes of Henry Pollock coming in towards the latter stages of that one, building depth at the same time? Yeah, we spoke about Henry being a big ball of energy, and you know, this is his home Premiership debut, so I think it's a pretty special one for him, so congrats to Henry. But you know, as a team, to get the first win last week, I think we can't underestimate that, and hopefully we keep building from there. Just lastly, you were saying to me off camera how good this place is. What is it like playing at a sold-out Gardens and with a light show too? Oh, the light show is a good addition. I like it. Yeah, it's an unreal place. I think once again we've built over the last year to get to sellouts towards the end of the year, and we're selling out every game now, and it makes a difference. You know, we love it. We love playing under these lights, particularly on a Friday. So good thing we've got a lot more coming up. Good thing indeed. Thanks so much. Congratulations. Brilliantly played. Cheers. Thank you.